Y'all thought I was finished?
Hi, welcome back to Football Barbie. If you haven't heard, I talk about everything football. So today, I figured I'd talk to you about how to actually understand football better. I have this lovely whiteboard that I will put the picture up in case you cannot read it, of all the positions and players of how and who does what in football. So, let's start with one of the main people in the middle for the offensive side. There are 11 people offensive and 11 people defensive. You do have the center. He is the one, so Jason Kelce is the center currently for the Eagles. He's the one who snaps the ball to the quarterback. The center snaps the ball to the quarterback. The quarterback can then either throw the ball or pass the ball to the fullback or running back, or the running back is basically going to go in between. Here, you do have the fullback. He will make the hole in between the right guard or the right tackle for the running back to run through to go to the end zone. So let's say that here's the end zone, here is the end zone. The quarterback can either also throw to the wide receivers, which are on either sides of the offensive line at the very ends. So the wide receiver would run, and he would do like a run play. He would run back to vertical routes or anything like that, and then he would catch the ball. Some people do make amazing one-handed catches. I think it's great to watch. So you have fullback, your running back, you have two wide receivers normally, your center. You also do have a tight end. He is on the end, clearly, of the line. He is also going to run. He's going to catch passes. He can help block. A really great tight end is Travis Kelce from the Kansas City Chiefs. He is a very great tight end, which is Jason Kelce's actually brother. Then you have your guards and your tackles. So on the left side and the right side of your center, you have your left guard and your right guard. They will block, and they're big people. These are your 300 and some pound football players. Very big people. So they will help block the defensive side. This right here is also your line of scrimmage. They are not allowed to pass over the line of scrimmage until the ball is in action. If the defense passes over the line of scrimmage, it is called offsides. And if the offense passes over the line of scrimmage, that's called false start. If they jump the ball, it's false start. 5-yard penalties. 5. That's a stupid penalty to ever get called, especially when you had a really great play. To get called false start, super annoying. Then you do have your right tackle and your left tackle, which is obviously to the left and the right side, to the left and the right guard. They are also blockers, and they are the people going to be tackling. They are very important to the quarterback. If the quarterback is left-handed, the right tackle is the most important because the quarterback is blind on his right side. If the quarterback is the same thing as right-handed, the left tackle is the most important because the quarterback is then blind on his left side. So all teams also do have a kicker and a punter. So the kicker is the one that kicks for the field goals, and the kicker is the one who kicks for that extra point. So extra point after a touchdown, you have 1 extra point. They can go for 2, but you do have the kicker who will kick for the extra point. Now, what was it? Dallas's kicker last year missed, 3 kicks for the game? That was absolutely crazy. It might have actually been 4 kicks for the game. That was absolutely wild. Even Dak Prescott, their quarterback, was yelling, "Do not kick the ball." He was quite pissed. I'm surprised they didn't fire him on the spot for that. How do you miss that many kicks? I wasn't really complaining of being an Eagles fan, but hey, it was quite interesting to watch. I had to peep it on my phone. So you also then do have a punter. So the punter is the one, if you miss your 3rd and 20, 3rd and 1, whatever the case is, 3rd down and whatever yardage, then the kicker, you have to have a punter who punts the ball to the other team. So let's say if you're over here, he punts the ball to the other team, and then the other team runs, obviously, back towards, and where they get it, where they get tackled is where the spot gets hit. So that's basically your team. You do have a long snapper. So the center will snap to the quarterback, but your long snapper snaps to the kicker and the punter. So that's also that. If, though, you do have a running play, a lot of times you might lose your fullback position or your wide receiver position, so you can have an extra tight end. The tight end does help to run those long passes as well as the wide receivers. So you could either have 2 wide receivers and 2 tight ends, or 2 tight ends, 1 wide receiver, 1 fullback, whatever the team actually decides to do. Your standard defense, so now let's go to the defensive side. You have a 4-3 position. So in a 4-3, you got your defensive end in between your line left tackle and left guard, your defensive tackle between your left guard and your center, your defensive tackle between your right guard, right tackle, and your defensive end between the right tackle and the tight end. So that is what you call a 4-3 position here in the defense. So the defensive tackle, remember, these people are the big, thick guys. They are the 300 and some pound, normally huge people. You do not want them running at you, but they will. That is their job. They also will push their way forward. The defensive end, they can tackle the rush passer. They can tackle the quarterback. Behind them, you have your 3 linebackers in position of the staggered in between the 4. So you have linebacker, they make the tackles, they stop the tack. They're also the ones to possibly blitz the quarterback as well. Blitzing is also a fun one, unless it's your team that's the one's getting blitzed. Then it's not necessarily so fun to watch because that's scary. Then there goes down your quarterback and it's not fun. So you also have your cornerbacks that are on both sides that are right in front of the wide receivers. Their job is to follow the wide receiver down the field, to make a tackle, follow the receiver on the passing plays, and to stop them from catching the ball by either intercepting the ball or by doing any means necessary besides a holding call, which is 10-yard penalty. So if you grab somebody and you prevent them from playing, that's considered holding. That's one of the main penalties that people have. If I was to talk about other main penalties, like I said, you have the offense. If they start early, false start. You do have an illegal procedure. That is not one that is good. If more than one people are moving at the same time, you can only have one person move at a time. That is a penalty. Pass interference, that is a penalty that is called very often as well. I would say almost just as often as holding. Pass interference, if somebody prevents somebody from catching the ball by not necessarily holding, but it's considered a pass interference call, it is down at the position and where the ball was originally caught. So somebody's all the way down here, let's say at the 80-yard line, and here's the end zone. They catch the ball and a pass interference play is called, and that's for the other side. They are running down and you're just going to have the ball there go, and you're just kind of screwed. I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it. There was pass interference on the play, and it goes in the favor of the people who it was against. So that is that. You also do have a punt returner. So when somebody does punt the ball, there is somebody there to catch the ball. So they do a fair catch, which goes to the 25-yard line, or they have the chance to catch the ball and run it. So there's a lot that goes into the catching and not touching of the ball and touching of the ball when the ball drops to the ground. But you do have punt returner. It is really cool. It doesn't happen as often, but if the punt returner catches the ball, let's say from the 25-yard line, and is able to run all the way down the field, they can get a touchdown for doing so. It is pretty awesome to watch. What is the player he used to play for the Saints? Reggie Bush. I watched Reggie Bush do quite a few long yard punt returns where he's able to run it back. And for the entire thing, it's really exciting. I mean, he had like a 96-yard. I mean, he was really good at it when he used to play. So Mr. Reggie Bush from the Saints, I do remember that for a fact. He did have some of those, so that is really cool. So let's go back to the defense side. So your cornerbacks, then in the backs, you kind of have like your safety and free safety, but technically they're basically cornerbacks. They're very far in the back, so if a quarterback throws an extremely long play and the ball's all the way back here, their job is to try to either stop the wide receiver from getting the ball or to intercept the ball. So that's why they're all the way in the back. Now they do have the possibility that they could blitz the quarterback. It doesn't happen as often, but that is also a chance that can be something that does happen. So another penalty that's a big one is horse collar. So somebody comes up behind you and yanks your collar. That's called horse collar. That is a 15-yard penalty. And yeah, so anytime you do stuff like that, it's not a good thing. You have the unsportsmanlike conduct. If somebody's being negative towards a player, taunting, any of that stuff, that's a penalty. They're normally 15-yard penalties. Those ones suck when you keep getting them. As for defense, you do have a thing called nickel defense when you have 5 backs, typically on a long pass play. So instead of some of these people become more backs, and then you have people really paying attention to the pass play. You also have something called a dime defense when you have 6 cornerbacks, because you know for a fact that somebody in like a 3rd and 20 is going to be running down the field. So at the end of the day, these are all the players that you would think. These are some of the main penalties that can definitely get called against you. You do not want that. I mean, you always now do have your Thursday night football on Amazon Prime. Then you have Sunday night football on NBC. And Monday night football can be on ESPN. One of those channels that like that. So you have all your Sunday day games, Sunday night games, one Sunday night, one Monday night, one Thursday night. There are times where if you watch my video about the schedule previously, you will see that there are 2 weeks this year. There are 2 Monday night games, and it's not the week that you think it is. So if you haven't seen it, you can check it out here. Like I said, I will put this board up on the screen so you can see what is actually happening. And yes, ta-ta for now. I hope you understand football a little bit better now.